My name's Judy Andrews. I was born in 1942 and came to Kuranda in 1971, bought my place in 1971. Don and my partner came to Cairns in 1965. And people were just starting to move from Holloway's Beach because the council was harassing people there, and up to Kuranda. And we went to look at a place for sale for $10,000. There were sort of old settlers, like the Austins. There were Aboriginal people who'd recently been expelled from Bonamona, and the so-called hippies. And everyone got along pretty well. Locally, our cop, Rolly Cole, was fine, but the police force was a tool of Bjelke Peterson, and later on, as shown in the Fitzgerald report, they were all thoroughly corrupt. But worst of all was the drug squad, and they seemed to be a bit of a law unto themselves. If they were going to raid, they tended not to tell Rolly Cole, and which didn't go down terribly well with cops like Rolly, who were quite reasonable people. But I suppose the most dramatic example of the drug squad running rampant was when they actually shot someone in the back in Kuranda. The story the police tell was, of course, quite different from the story that the witnesses, the non-police witnesses to it anyway. His name was Philippe Haynes, and his girlfriend, Coral Maxwell. First thing she knew she knew he was dead, they arrested her, took her down to the watch house, and she saw the ambulance on the way up as she was being taken down in the police car. They took her to the watch house, and while she was there, they walked in with some jewellery that was his, which was covered in blood, threw it on the table in front of her and said, "Is this his?" That's how she knew he was dead. And the story that was published in the paper wasn't what the eyewitnesses recounted. So we got in touch with Civil Liberties in Brisbane, and over the period we started up a branch up here. Jeremy Darville was a barrister. He moved up fairly recently, and he lived was the first place on Boyles Road. And he and I were met at the post office one day, and in those days, weather reports used to often go up on the notice board. So we looked at the weather report and said, I suppose fog's likely, we better not jog. And hence the slogan, "Don't jog in the fog," was born. One of the issues with the inquest was that Coral Maxwell, his partner, did not have right of representation at the inquest because they weren't married. However, she was pregnant, so the fetus had right of representation at the inquest. Friends of mine in Sydney made up a wanted poster. And they brought I think it was 500 copies up. Generally, there was a lot of backlash. People in Kuranda were very, very angry but very frightened, because you didn't know, if there might not be a pounding on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning and having a dawn raid at your place.
So, Judy, how do you feel it is now in Kuranda? What's your response to all of this?
Well, Kuranda is my home now. And always will be. It's changed. It's become a bit more of a dormitory suburb for Cairns, a bit more bourgeois in some ways, a bit more commercial with the markets. The relationship with the police is not so bad now that post-Bjelke-Petersen, post-Fitzgerald report, but there's still, there was a period when the police were very bad, and which is a story to be told another day, but Kuranda is my home.